I went to the coolest state capital in the country. You might be wondering, why did I decide to do this? Well, I was inspired by a video by Ruben Schmertz where he went to all 7 continents without any money. What I decided to do was I wanted to do something very similar. Maybe not all 7 continents, but somewhere cool in the United States. And what cooler place is there than Juneau, Alaska? It's the only state capital that's not connected to anything by road. To get there, you either have to fly or you have to go by boat. Now, to pay for his trip, Ruben would sell waffles and he would raise money to go up to the next continent. So I did something similar where I did DoorDash all summer long, and that's how I paid for my Alaska trip. So after a long summer of grinding out and getting some money for DoorDash, finally had enough money to go to Alaska. But the way I had to do it was interesting. I had to go drive up to Nashville from Huntsville, fly to Salt Lake City, then Seattle, and then Juneau. So in this video, we're going to detail the journey to Juneau, and the next video is just going to be solely Alaska. Sometimes the journey is as great as the destination, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright guys, welcome back to the new video, and this is the first part of a 2-part series in my trip up to Juneau, Alaska. So yeah, this is probably going to be the biggest set of videos I've ever made before, and I'm really excited for this trip. You know, I've never been up to Alaska, I've never been out of the lower 48 or Canada, right? So yeah, it'll be a different part of the country to go to. I haven't really been to the Pacific Northwest as well, so that's going to be exciting, different region, and yeah, I'm really excited for it. So let me just tell you a little more about the journey. What we're doing is we're driving up to Nashville tonight. And the reason we're going up there is because they have a bigger airport and it was a little bit cheaper to fly out from there. So driving up to Nashville, gonna just have some overnight parking up there, get a hotel at night, and then really early we're gonna fly out to Salt Lake City, first layover. That's a 3-hour layover, so we'll have some time because I purchased TSA PreCheck, which allows you to skip all the waiting at the airport. So I'll have enough time to go do an excursion in Salt Lake City, just see the main sites like the Capitol Building and the Temple. And then I'll film that as well, and we'll fly up to Seattle. And then once we fly up to Seattle, that will probably be where this video ends. And then part 2 will just be me in Alaska. Hey, what's up guys? Post-production Zach here. So I just want to interject right here at this point in the video because after editing this video, part 1 ended up being about 8 minutes or so. And that's not long enough for a video, to be honest with you. So I'm going to condense this all into one video. But yeah, back to the video. All right, y'all, we are in Ardmore, Alabama/Tennessee. And right there, those 2 flags are state line. This is a pretty sick spot. From Ardmore, Tennessee, I went up I-65 to Nashville, and let me tell you, this is a very scenic drive, lots of beautiful rolling hills, and it's really scenic until you get to Nashville. Obviously, I hit a little bit of Nashville traffic, and I had to stop to get some gas. After I filled up on dinner as well, and I was off to the hotel at that point. I forgot to film an update before bed because I was really tired from the trip, so I just filmed in the morning. Good morning, y'all. It's 4 a.m., super early, but we're up. I'm so tired. Yeah, sleeping by the airport is not a great idea for getting a good night's sleep. It's so loud. But yeah, we got a long day of traveling, so we just gotta get up, get ready, and get to the airport. Let's do it. Alright, y'all, pro travel tip here. If you're only traveling about 4 or 5 days, instead of packing luggage, pack it in this. Get a big bag, pack your clothes real tight, and save that $35 to $40 for the check bag. Get through PreCheck. Woo! Salt Lake. Woo! Alright y'all, quick update. We're out here in Utah. Woo! And we're waiting on our Uber. So we're going to go explore the temple, we're going to go explore the Capitol grounds, and we're going to try to make it back here before 12 so that we can get on our flight to Seattle. The reason I had the layover in Salt Lake City was because, like I said, I had been here before, but that was 4 years ago, and it was on a layover where I didn't have enough time to explore the city. So, since I had a 3-hour layover, I decided to go into town and explore not only the Capitol grounds, but explore the Mormon temple and get a bite to eat as well. Alright, we made it to the state capitol, y'all. And my first thing being an East Coast boy is look at all these mountains. These mountains are absolutely massive. I've been out here once before, but yeah, never really got to explore it, so we're exploring it now. Look at all this cool stuff. This must be from when the Mormon settlers came down here. Just imagine being in the 1800s and seeing all this beautiful scenery. Crazy. Y'all, we made it to the Mormon temple. We are on the grounds here, and this is kind of a cool complex. You know, there's this giant buildings all around, and we're just out in beautiful Utah, surrounded by the mountains. Man, Utah really is one of my favorite states, and if y'all ever get a chance, y'all should come out here for sure. At this point, I walked around the city a little bit more looking for some lunch, and I found this little mall that was not too far from the Mormon temple. They had a lot of restaurants, but I settled on Sbarro, which is one of my favorite chain pizza places. And let me tell you, it's a lot cheaper than the airport food. Y'all, we are about to Uber back to the airport, but just want to soak all this in one last time before I leave. It is such a beautiful city, man. If you ever get to go to Salt Lake, go out here. Once we got back to the airport, it was time to get on the flight to Seattle. And I hated leaving Salt Lake, but I was ready to see someplace new. And let me tell you, the flight was beautiful. Not a bad flight, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And my first impression was there's a lot of pine trees here. Made it to Seattle. Woo! After the video ends, I actually ended up going to Seattle to see a friend of mine, and I would say in retrospect, it's probably one of the better places I've been to. It's very beautiful and very scenic out there, but when I first went to the airport, I wasn't really impressed, and there wasn't a lot of scenery at the airport, to be fair, just a lot of pine trees, but I was about to be proven wrong when I boarded the flight, because this flight from Seattle to Alaska was absolutely beautiful, as you will see. I ended up boarding the flight, and I originally had an aisle seat, but this woman who used to live up there was kind enough to let me have a window seat. In this clip here, you can see the beautiful Olympic Mountains of western Washington, and in this clip here, you can see more of the Olympic Peninsula. Coming up in the next clip, you can actually see the Olympic Peninsula here on the left, and on the right there is the very beginning of Vancouver Island. This flight was so beautiful, and I was just utterly impressed by the Pacific Northwest. I mean, this was probably the best flight I've ever been on. But at this point, we flew up to Alaska, and as you can see in this clip here, I made it to my destination. Wow, this place is crazy. My first impression of the Juneau airport was that it was very small, but it was probably the coolest airport I've ever been to. It's got to be the coolest place I've ever been to. Wow. Alright, we're here in Juneau, Alaska. Biggest thing that I noticed is the temperature difference. It was very hot in Utah, but now it's pretty cool, pretty brisk, not cold, but just right. Got a perfect breeze going on. After I landed, I took an Uber to the hostel where I was staying at for the night, and let me tell you, this drive is so beautiful. And Juneau is specifically situated in what's called a temperate rainforest. Even though there's snow-capped mountains all year round, it still is a rainforest, which just kind of added to the beauty of it. But after a long day of traveling, I finally made it to the hostel. Basically, a hostel is like a hotel, but you share a dorm with other people. But because it was shoulder season in Juneau, I got a whole room to myself, which is super nice. For the Juneau hostel in particular, you have to do a chore every single night you're there. So my chore here was just to wipe down the showers. You also have to make your own bed, which you see me doing here. but I would highly recommend looking into a hostel. It can be cheaper, but you just have to look at the specific reviews. If you go with a party hostel, it's not going to be great. You're not going to have a good time sleeping. But if you go with a hostel like Juneau where they have curfews, it could be a nice experience. So definitely look into a hostel if you want some cheaper rates. Just like in Nashville, I forgot to film before I went to sleep, but one thing that I do need to report to you guys is that even in late August, it's still very bright out there, even that far south in Alaska. For reference, it was about 9 p.m. Alaska time when it finally started to get dark, and that felt more like midnight to me because I'm on Central Time, which is 3 hours ahead of Juneau. So if you're going to Alaska in the summer, highly recommend either getting a hotel that has blackout curtains or just taking a sleep mask with you, because if you don't, you might have a hard time sleeping. But back to the video. All right, good morning, y'all. We're out here in beautiful Juneau, Alaska. Yeah, last night was kind of rough. The hostel was pretty good, and we're walking past it right now. But I can say that it was rough because I'm not used to the light out here, right? And yeah, it was light till 8 p.m. Alaska time, which is like 11 p.m. my time. So yeah, kind of tired today, but it feels good. I got the jacket on because it's kind of chilly out here a little bit. But yeah, today is all about exploring Juneau. Man, this view out here though makes the night worth it. This is absolutely gorgeous. All these old buildings out here, the Russian church, and then this church out here, and then this big old mountain, man. Oh my gosh, I love this place though. As I mentioned, this is probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. I mean, look at this Russian church with the mountains in the background, so gorgeous. And Juneau is very walkable. It's a very small city, so it's easy to traverse and walk around. All right, we are at the Alaska State Capitol. Kind of an unimpressive building compared to other Capitol buildings, but you know what? It's Alaska, so it gets a pass. We got a better view of the Capitol building up here, and just look at those mountains in the background, man. Absolutely beautiful. From the Capitol building, I walked down the street to get to the water's edge because I was going to go somewhere very special for breakfast. Y'all, I never thought that in the middle of August, near my birthday, I would be seeing my own breath because of how cold it is, but I guess when you come to Alaska, it's just really cold. The restaurant I went to was called the Sandpiper Cafe, and they serve breakfast all day, but they have other food as well. But I would highly recommend getting their breakfast because they make a 10 out of 10 omelet. Alright, y'all, so if y'all are ever in Juneau, I would totally recommend Sandpiper Cafe. Really good place, 10 out of 10 breakfast, and yeah, you get a lot of bang for your buck, honestly. So yeah, that was a great meal, and I really needed that because I didn't eat since lunch yesterday, or didn't eat a full meal. So that was nice. For the rest of this video, I want to include some footage of me walking around downtown Juneau. So yeah, enjoy the footage.
discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy always.
If you made it this far in the video, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for being so patient with me. My original plan was to finish this video by the end of September at some point, but as you guys may know, my cat passed away and I had her for 14 years, so it was a very long time. And yeah, that just really kind of killed my motivation for making videos for a while. But I wanted to make a video and complete this project because this really was a cool trip and I really want to share this with y'all. So thank you so much for your support, and like and subscribe. It really helped out the channel. See y'all in the next one.